With Big Mo. Oh, man.
Are you gonna keep boxing? Yeah. You really love this shit, huh?
With Logan Paul unraveling in front of the cameras, while his brother was carried out with a shattered jaw. And that's the part nobody was prepared for. So lock back in with me, because before the knockout, before the silence, before the panic, this was sold as destiny, as control, as the Paul brothers rewriting boxing itself. And nah, none of this makes sense unless you accept that the real damage wasn't the punch. It was the exposure, the kind that splits a brand wide open and sends everyone into scramble mode. And I'm telling you now, what you saw was only the surface. Something darker is sitting underneath, waiting to crack open.
I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, he split his jaw. Yeah. He don't care though. Jake's having a fucking blast.
Everyone keeps replaying the knockout, but I'm stuck on what happened right after, because that's when the illusion actually died. Logan wasn't calm. He wasn't composed. He wasn't protective. He was furious. And that anger wasn't aimed at Joshua. It was aimed inward at Jake, at the plan, at the story that was supposed to end differently. Ask yourself why a brother reacts like a manager whose investment just collapsed. Because that reaction tells you more truth than any press conference ever could. And I don't think we've heard the full story yet. Not even close.
It was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a Bengal tiger.
Weeks before the fight, the confidence already felt reckless because Logan was talking like the result was pre-written, calling Joshua washed, calling him beatable, calling him a legacy-ending target. And when you talk like that, you're not just hyping a fight, you're betting your own image on the outcome. That's where the tension spikes, because Logan tied his brand directly to Jake's fist. And once that bell rang, there was no separating brotherhood from branding. The second Jake started backing up, you could feel the entire plan unravel. In real time.
It really is. Oh, the uppercut, and he took it! Jake Paul took it! Oh, the right hand by... Oh!
Warnings were everywhere, and everyone ignored them on purpose. Analysts kept saying influencer boxing ends where heavyweight reality begins. But noise drowned out caution. Clicks drown out truth. And when Joshua stood patient and cold, you could see it written on Jake's face: stiff legs, tight shoulders, eyes searching for exits. Suddenly, this wasn't about confidence or belief anymore. It was about survival. And that shift is where careers quietly die, long before the knockout even lands.
Since he quickly realized fighting AJ was not going to work for him, he naturally began incorporating even more flight, running away, and freezing, falling to the ground at any chance he had just to survive the rounds.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic. He's so big. He's so much bigger. So of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant man.
Then the knockdown started, and belief drained fast. Because for times isn't bad luck, it's confirmation. When a man gets dropped that many times, the fight stops being competitive and starts being instructional. And at 1:31 of round 6, it was over. Not debated, not controversial, just finished. The silence that followed wasn't shock. It was recognition, the sound of hype collapsing under physics. And I swear there's a reason the cameras immediately found Logan instead of the replay.
I'm just so proud of him. My mom has it.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean, other heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
The numbers made it worse, and you know it. Because landing 16 punches out of 56 isn't bravery, it's survival mode. And when the injury report dropped, confirming double jaw fractures that required surgery, the conversation should have ended. But it didn't, because the real chaos was emotional. As Jake was carried out, Logan lost control. And that wasn't just worry. That was embarrassment, panic, and anger colliding at once. And tell me why nobody is asking, what was said off camera in that moment?
Like, minus the actual victory, of course, but bro, like, no one expected him to the last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them.
People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's tough.
Watching Logan right then was uncomfortable because it didn't look like love. It looked like betrayal, like someone tore up a script without permission. That's why commentators flinched. Because this wasn't concern. This was damage control panic in high definition. And when your trash talk gets replayed next to knockout footage, you don't get to rewrite the narrative later. Here's the part that keeps bothering me. That rage didn't look spontaneous. It looked like something that had been building for a while.
Realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time.
Reports made it even darker because shaking, shouting, and pacing don't come from a single punch. They come from the realization that the Paul experiment hit a wall it can't spin past. And when people say Logan kept replaying the moment, that tells you he was trying to mentally rewrite it. Because the real-world version was unacceptable. And nah, this doesn't make sense unless the stakes were way higher than we were told.
That this YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. He fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, not an elite boxer.
Days later, the tone shift was almost comical. Suddenly, it was logical conclusions, skill gaps, respect, toughness, gratitude. That's what happens when bravado fails. Revision starts immediately. But the internet doesn't forget those earlier words' legacy, and her echo even louder afterward. And that's why this hit harder, because the calm felt rehearsed, while the panic was real.
And there's some sort of a rehydration clause. Listen, kids, it ain't gonna matter. There's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio.
The angle is what poisoned this even deeper. Logan didn't just need Jake to win for boxing history, he needed it for image stability. When Jake fell, the foundation shook, because this brand runs on control, confidence, and spectacle. Losing control on the biggest stage fractures everything. Ask yourself why Logan looked less like a brother and more like a furious executive, watching millions disappear. Because that question leads somewhere uncomfortable.
I think the camp wasn't 100%. Is that accurate?
That's kind of what I was going to ask. Like, do you feel like it was your best camp?
No, I mean, just because, I was weighing 200 pounds when we confirmed
for the meltdown clips, but I see something else. I see a warning flare. When ego gets louder than preparation, the sport always collects payment, and heavyweight boxing doesn't offer refunds. This fight didn't just expose Jake, it exposed the ecosystem that pushed him there. And here's a time bomb thought. If this was allowed once, someone watching right now will try it again.
But once it'll be attempted again by someone watching right now.
I was right there. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I did.
I was like, you wobbled it, go.
Joshua didn't need to say a word, because the aftermath spoke for him. Skill beat noise. Experience crushed confidence. The line between influencer boxing and elite heavyweight reality was drawn in blood and panic. And once lines like that are drawn, they don't fade. They harden. I don't think the Paul brothers fully understand how permanent that line is yet.
To get that world-class gas tank, you need a Sam Calavita. You need a Nick Curson. You need these plyometrics experts who got heart rate monitors on you, and they're checking when your recovery is ready and go.
Yeah.
And you're fucking yeah. You need guys monitoring your recovery, monitoring your heart rate variability, your VO2.
The scariest part is how fast everything unraveled. This wasn't a slow fall, it was instant. From bravado to silence. From control to chaos. That speed tells you how fragile the structure really was. And when structures crack this publicly, more pieces usually fall later. I keep wondering which piece drops next, because something about this still feels unfinished.
Guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division.
Everyone says this will be remembered for the knockout, but that's wrong. It'll be remembered for the moment the cameras caught the truth, the rage, the panic, the exposure. That's why this story refuses to die. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't clean. And brands hate messy reality more than losses. Reality showed up swinging, and it didn't care who was supposed to win.
Timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's Fucksville right now.